Hey, everybody, it's Melinda Russell with Let's Talk Racing Live. And we didn't have a show last week. We were going to have these kids on last week. And then all of a sudden, I realized it was Easter. And I had been invited to my daughter's Easter night. Plus, family time is Easter. And the NASCAR race was on at night. And I thought, you know what? We are not going to compete with the NASCAR race. And I need to just celebrate Easter and let this family celebrate Easter together. So we didn't have a show last week. And Riley and Cam said, yeah, we can come on next week. So that worked out great. So my guests are Riley and Cam Hanson. And this is the first brother sister competitors that I've had on together. I usually just have girls, Cam. So you're a special guest because I don't have a lot of men on the show. So welcome to the show, kids. And Riley, I think we've
Thank
tagged
you.
that you're going to tell us a little bit about yourself, you and Cam, your family, your pets, where you live, how old you are, all those kind of things. So why don't you go ahead and just tell us all about yourselves?
So my name's Riley, and this is Cam. I'm a 15-year-old Bandolero racer, and he's an 11-year-old Bandolero racer. We're from Cordele, Georgia. In fact, we live right down the road from Chris Motorsports Park, and we have four pets. They're all Shih Tzus.
Oh, I should get my dog. I'll get my dog before we hang up because I have a Shih Tzu. So, do you have boys or girls?
We have two girls and two boys.
So, I have a little boy dog, and I'm excited to share this with you because I was never a dog lover. My dad had a dog when I was growing up, and it was very protective of me, but it wasn't really the nicest dog. It snapped at people, and I was never a dog person. And long many years later, when I married my husband, he had a dog, and so he's always had a dog, and so I put up with the dog. Well, when we started going to the RV parks in our RV the last few years, everybody at the RV park, or pretty much everybody, had a little dog, some kind of dog that they would walk. Well, I got the dog bug. And so I said to my husband, I want a little dog. And he was like, no, because we have a 60-pound um, Chopper is his name. And he is a pit bull, Springer Spaniel, boxer mix. So he's a funny looking dog, but he's the best dog. And my husband was like, no, we don't want another pup. We don't want a puppy, blah, blah. Well, guess what? My birthday came in December. Christmas is in December. And one of our friends posted a picture of a little girl dog that she got. And guess what kind it was? A
A
Shih
Shih
Tzu.
Tzu.
And there was one puppy left, a little boy. He was the last one. So I went to see him and I fell in love with him. And I came home and I said to my husband, I want that dog. That's what I want for Christmas and my birthday. If it's forever, I don't care. And so he said, okay. So when I got him, he only weighed 4 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
And now he's up to almost 8 pounds, but he probably won't get any bigger. And his name is Crew, like a pit crew. So he's my crew. So if I've got the door shut because he would come in here and be bothering me if I had the door open. So I'll get him out before we get off and I'll show you my pride
Okay.
and joy. I call him my emotional support animal and I just love him to pieces. My family can't believe that I have a dog that I call my own. So there you go. And you have four of them. And so did you get them all at once or no?
No, we got our
Okay.
first one in 2018, and we got our most recent one. We rescued him last October.
Okay. All right. Aren't they just the best dogs though?
They are.
They
We
They
love
are.
are.
them.
I know. I love mine too. So that has nothing to do with racing, but that lets other people know about you and about me, and that we all have Shih Tzus and we love them to pieces. So we've got that past us. So you're 15, Cam's 11. Do you go to public school or are you homeschooled?
We go to public school.
Okay. All right. So what do your friends think about you guys racing? Do they know about it? Do they care about it?
My friends think it's cool that I race, and I told them if I got a trip this weekend, I would show them.
Mhm.
And I mean, they just really think it's cool that I race, and most of them say they want to go see my race. And some of my teachers and some of the people who work at the school, they all want to come see my races.
Okay, awesome. I figured they would want to. And what about you, Riley? You're 15, so you're in high school. And being a girl, how do you get treated about being in racing?
I mean, I don't tell a lot of people. I mean, like sometimes I'll tell people, but the people that do know, they say like that it was unexpected because it doesn't really fit my personality. But they think it's so cool when they find out that I race, and people always ask me about it when they do find out I race.
Okay, good. And what about the boys? Do they give you any trouble about it? It's like, oh, why, you're a girl, you're in racing, or not really?
No, a lot of guys like ask me like how I did, like go out, they always tell me go out there and beat those other boys.
Good. Good. I like hearing that for sure. Um, so what do you do for fun when it's not race season?
I do baseball.
Okay.
That's one other sport that I do, and I like to go ride four wheelers and do that kind of stuff around here. That's pretty much all other thing I do.
Okay. And what about you, Riley?
I like to hang out with my friends, and I like to be out in the shop a lot with my dad, working on the cars in the off season.
Okay. And Cam, do you like working on the cars too?
I do. It's good to learn new stuff about the car. So if like you're out there on the track, you know what to expect by knowing what that part is.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And that's the best way to learn, isn't it? To work on them and have your dad help teach you what's going on with them. So, was your dad a race car driver, or did you? How did you get started, Cam? I'll start with you because I know you started racing first. How did you get started in motorsports?
I've always been around cars and motors, and we used to go down to Chris Motorsports Park almost every race weekend, and we would watch the cars, and I would always notice the Bandolero class, and I always said I wanted to race and race them and race them and race them, and my dad finally got me one.
Okay, but did your dad ever race?
No, ma'am.
He just loved racing, and so he went to watch it as a fan, and then you got involved, and that's really cool. And when did you start racing?
2021.
Okay, so not that long ago. And what kind of do you race bandoleros as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Riley, what about you? How'd you get started?
So, when my brother started racing, I thought it was really cool, and I always said I wanted to do it, but I was just too scared, especially when I'd see wrecks. I was always really scared. So, around spring of 2022, my brother and my dad finally convinced me to do it with them, and I finally got over my fear of being scared. And around the end of May, early June, I got my bandolier and did my first race.
Okay, that's awesome. So, and now you love it, right?
Yes, I'm in love with it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, do you have a home track? Is Chris Motorsports where you go to race all the time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you race like for a championship, or is there a series there that you race in, or you just race every weekend for fun?
We're under INEX, and we compete for points.
Okay.
I'm still in the rookie class, so I mean, I get points, but I don't really race for any championships.
Okay. All right. That comes when you get a little bit more experienced. Yeah. So, Cam, do you race against Riley? No, she's in a different class. So, do you
Well,
race against any girls?
not in this bandit division. I've never
Okay.
faced any girls, but last year me and her used to race because I was in the rookies last year.
Okay. And so, were you very competitive with each other, or did you kind of give each other a break?
I feel
Um,
like both. Like sometimes we get irritated with each other, but then sometimes we be pretty good with each other.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you this, Cam. Would you rather be in the class racing against your sister, or do you prefer not to be racing against her?
I would rather race in her class because it's easier for me because I always like to be like alert on like what's happening with my sister, and when I'm strapped in the car because I'm usually the next class that goes after her, I can't see as much on the track.
Okay. Yeah, so you can't watch what she's doing, and then that kind of leaves you out of what she's up to, right? Yeah. But once you move up, then you'll be probably racing against each other again.
No, because I'll go to the outlaw class. He's in the bandit class because of his age, and I'll go to
Okay.
the outlaws.
Okay. So until you get both get older, then you won't be racing against each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think that's probably okay. My granddaughters they raced quarter midgets when they started, and they were not in the same class, and then eventually they were in the same class, and I think it was easier when they were not in the same class, because then you could cheer for both of them, and that kind of thing. So that was better, at least for Mama. I like that better. So let's start with you, Cam. Tell me about your car. What color is it? Do you have any sponsors on it? That kind of thing.
Actually have two cars. We have a car set up for Cordial and a car set up for Atlanta Motor Speedway. And my Chris Motorsports car is lime green with a Monster Energy logo put on it. And my sponsors are Green Concrete, Black Shear Veterinary Clinic. I think. And then my Atlanta car is like a yellow green. It's 24, like the Cordial car. It's a Raptor. It's a Raptor car, like Will and Byron,
Uh-huh.
and we don't have any sponsors on that car.
Okay. And Riley, tell me about your cars.
So my car setup for Chris Motorsports Park is all black with hot pink numbers, and the sponsors are that on that car are Demo Chick, Green Concrete, Kelly and Kate Boutique, and then I have a car set up for Atlanta, and it's black and blue with hot pink numbers, and my sponsors on that car are Keen Movers.
Okay. So did you guys pick the numbers for your car?
Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
did.
All right. So Cam, why did you pick the number did you say 24?
Yes, ma'am. I picked 24 because I like Will and Byron.
Oh, okay. I should have figured that out. And then Riley, how about you?
I picked number 8 because I'm a big fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, I'm catching the drift here. So I'm a big fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr. as well, and I'm a big fan of the cars on his race team. So I really like Josh Berry and Justin Allgaier especially, and of course last year I was a huge Noah Gragson fan. So now I have to cheer for him with another team, but that's okay. I still like Josh and Justin. Those are my two favorite junior racers for sure. So, Cam, I'm going to ask you first, and back to Riley. Do you have a most memorable moment so far in your racing career?
Uh, last last August when I won my first race.
Okay. And where was that, at Crisp Motorsports?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how did that make you feel when you won that race?
It made me feel really happy because the race before it, they had oil dry on the track, and I was leading way ahead from second place. And I got high in the oil dry, and I spun out and totaled my car.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, and then you turned around and won the next race. So
Yes, ma'am.
that made it all better, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And Riley, do you have a most memorable moment?
Well, I have to say, seeing my brother win was really awesome, and that's something I'll never forget. And back in January, I got my first podium, so that was really memorable for me. As well as last night, I got another podium.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So we're doing this on a good day, aren't we? Right after you got a podium finish. And so I like that they do the podiums. Not every track does that. And so I like that because that makes it feel special. Usually it's just the winner that gets the attention. But if you do podiums, then it's the first, second, and third, right? That get up on the podium. Yeah. So I like that. I think that's good that those other two places get some recognition for sure. Yeah. So
Last
who
last
go ahead.
got my second place. I also got a second place finish.
Oh, wow. So you guys are doing really, really well. That's awesome. So who helps you with the car? Do you have a crew chief? You already said you both help with it, but who's the main person that works on your cars?
We have two main people. One of my dad's friends, he's always been involved with race cars and motorsports, so he helps us out, as well as my dad. He helps working on the cars.
Okay. And then you're learning so that you're helping, with it as well. So how fast does a bandolero go around the track? How fast do you go? Do you know?
70, around 70 miles an hour. That's like the top speed.
Okay. And is that about what you go, Cam?
Something like at Atlanta Motor Speedway, I do about 50 on it, and she doesn't do but like 40 because I run without a restrictor plate.
Okay, yeah.
But around on super speedways, you can get around 60 to 70.
Okay. That's pretty fast. And you're sitting way down low next to the pavement in those cars, aren't you? Yeah. How does that feel to sit down there and you just could reach out and touch the pavement? They're pretty low. Is that pretty fun to do that?
It's pretty cool. I like being down low.
Yeah. I think I would like that because I would feel more in control if I was down there like that. I don't know. It just looks fun to me. I've never driven that kind of a car, but it looks fun to me for sure. So every day's not a great day at the track. How do you deal with a bad day at the track? Cam?
Um, you like pay attention to your mistakes, and you try to work on what you messed up on, and get better as you go.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Riley, how about you?
So whenever I have a bad day, I always go to my dad and ask him what I can do to improve on the next race. If I do bad in qualifying, ask how I can run a better line or if we can change the
Hmm.
setup on the car. And I always tell myself that not every day is going to be a good day.
Right. Absolutely. Because, motorsports is the one sport that you can pretty much count on you're going to lose more than you're going to win. But that's okay because as long as you're having fun, it doesn't really matter. There's a lot of other benefits to driving a race car and competing against other people and kids and whatever. It's not all about the wins. And so that's good. I think you handle that really well. So Cam, what's your favorite thing about being a race car driver?
Probably getting a podium finish.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And Riley, how about you?
Honestly, I just enjoy being in the car going around the track. That's the best part. Just like feeling the air hit you. It's really cool.
So how does that make you feel? Is it exciting? Is it relaxing?
It's an adrenaline rush, and I love adrenaline rushes.
Okay. All right. And so you're 15. Are you going to get your driver's license soon then?
I'll get my driver's license in a little less than a year. I just turned 15 recently.
Okay. Are you looking forward to getting your driver's license and driving on the road, or you don't really care that much?
I'm so excited because I have a Mustang that we're working on so I can drive it.
Okay. All right. So mom and dad are going to probably have to put a restrictor plate on that then, aren't they? Yeah. I just talked to a young man last night. He's 15 and almost 16, and he doesn't really care that much. He doesn't race, but he doesn't said, yeah, I don't really care about my driver's license that much. My and so I notice when I talk to kids, I hear that more often than not that they're not really all that excited. Or when I turned 16, that's all I could think about was getting my driver's license. And I lived out in the country. So the only way I could get to town, which was 8 miles away, to hang out with my friends in that was if my mom or dad took me and picked me up. Once I got my driver's license, then that made a whole different situation. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But yeah, so that's good. And then you'll be able to run your little brother around and take him places, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, I was just talking with my mom right before we got on here how much I'm ready to drive. So, like, when I go to school in the mornings, I can sleep in because I can go when I want to.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So, what is something, Cam, that you think you need to improve on in your driving?
I had a race last September, and I'm still really nervous about it. So I'm not really like near as competitive as I was last year. So that's the thing I think I need to work on.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes you think about that that's going to happen again, and really the chances are probably not that good that it will. But you have to get over that, don't you? That's just like any other like kind of tragedy or situation in life, it kind of stays with us for a while until we can finally overcome those feelings and then look out because here comes Cam and he'll be just beating everybody, right? Yeah. How about you, Riley? Do you have anything that you feel you need to improve on?
For me, it's 100% getting more aggressive towards other drivers to gain positions and hold my position.
Okay. All right. And passing. How about passing other people? Has that been a challenge or not
Yes,
so much?
for me, that goes with being aggressive just to like gain a position.
Yeah. I remember when my granddaughters raced quarter midgets, the passing was one of the hardest things for them to be comfortable with, with their racing. So, yeah. So, you've only been racing a year or two. What about your racing career? What, if you could say, I can do anything in motorsports that I want to do. What would that be? What would your goal be? What kind of car would you want to drive, or where would you want to see yourself, when you're 20 years old?
For me, I'd really like to see myself in a legend car in the future or even a pro late model.
Okay. And racing locally or traveling or something with your racing.
I'd like to travel around to different speedways.
Yeah. And Cam, what about you?
Um, I want to see myself like when I'm like 20. I want to see myself in like a Arca car or a super late model.
Okay. Those are good goals to have, and those are good series to and the traveling, I would love that. I love the traveling part of going to different racetracks and meeting different people, and that's really fun for sure. So Riley, I'm going to ask you something. Cam, you can sit this one out. Um, do you think there's any benefits or challenges to being a girl in motorsports?
I definitely think as a girl, maybe other guys look down on you and think that you're not going to be as good because you're a girl. But also, I think being a girl, people are a lot nicer to you at the same time, like to your face. Like people aren't going to like yell at you the way they probably do a boy.
Okay. All right. And what if somebody came up to you and said, "My daughter's been watching you. She'd like to get started in racing." Is it something that you would encourage them? And what would you say to those families?
I'd absolutely encourage them. Um, I definitely tell them to look into the Bandoleros because that is
Hmm.
an amazing car to start in. I'm super glad that I started in a Bandolero. And I tell them to go for it. Definitely try it out.
Yeah, for sure. So, I asked you, I asked Cam if there was any girls he raced with. What about you, Riley? Are there a lot of other girls that you race with, or not very many?
Hmm.
There's a good bit of other girls that I race with.
Okay. And so, did you know them before you started racing, or have you made friends with them?
I've made friends with some of the girls, but I didn't know anybody before I started racing.
Okay. Because a lot of times I find that the girls are friends off when they're not racing and very very competitive with each other when they are racing. So yeah, that's good to make sure that your friends off the track and competitors on the track, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Cam, are you a role model for any younger drivers? Do you have any littler kids that look up to you?
No, man.
No, not yet, but you will have, I'm sure. How about you, Riley?
Well, I always, whenever we do like driver autographs, I always have people coming up to me saying that they love to watch me race and that like they love yeah, they like to watch me race. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Because, even though there's a lot of women that race in any track you go to, some tracks have a lot of kids or women that race. It's still a little bit more of the unusual, more so than watching the guys. And so girls kind of stand out a little bit more sometimes because of that. And so I think that's why, you've got those people that come up to you, especially on autograph night, and want your autograph and that, because it is a little bit more unusual for sure. So how do you think, and I know this is a kind of a hard question when you're 11 and 15, but we talk about how people can make an impact on maybe their sport that they're in, or an impact on their community, or whatever it might be. How do you want to make an impact on motorsports? Have you ever thought about that?
I want to encourage more girls to join the sport. I know girls getting into the racing has become more popular, but I want to encourage it to continue to get more popular.
Okay. And Cam, do you have anything that you can think of that how you would like to impact the sport?
Yeah, like what she said, like get more girls into it.
Yeah, because you've got plenty of boys probably, but we always want to encourage new people to get interested in the sport, right? Yeah, whether it's boys or girls, because we want the sport to keep growing. And as ambassadors, I consider you guys ambassadors of the sport, because you do race. People look up to you even maybe when you don't realize it, and they're watching you on the track. They're watching you when you come off the track, if somebody's wrecked you, to see how are you acting in that. And so you can be a good ambassador for the sport just by your actions, both on and off the track. And so I think that's a good thing for you to always be remembering, that somebody's probably watching for sure. So at 11 and 15, I know 15, I'm sure you're into the social media, but how do you guys use social media to promote your race team? Do you, post about your races and where you're going to be and how you finished, and any of that?
Well, usually we post on our racing page on Facebook, but occasionally I'll get on Instagram and post about my race.
Okay. And Cam, how about you?
Uh, I do TikToks to promote my racing.
Okay. So how could we find you on TikTok? Is it just your name?
I think it's at Camden_Bryce.
Okay. All right. And Riley, how about you? Are you on Facebook, and you said Twitter, right? Or no, Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. So how would we find you so we could follow you there?
My Instagram is Riley, like my name, and then Kate Hanson. It's all together.
Okay. All right. So that sounds good. We'll be able to follow and see what you're up to for sure. And then do your parents post and share things about you as well?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because I think, don't you have a Hanson Racing page
Yes,
on
that's where
Facebook?
most of our racing stuff goes to, like about our
Yeah.
races.
Right. So if we followed the Hanson Racing page, we would probably know a lot about what you're doing, where you're going, and how you finished, right?
Yes, we put all of our updates on that page.
Okay, that sounds good. So, I know you're still in school. Do you have any thoughts about what you'd like to do once you get out of school, or go to college and get out of college? Do you have any professions in mind that you're interested in?
I'm kind of confused on what I want to be, but I know for sure I want to go to college and get a good degree.
Okay. All right. And how about you, Cam? Do you like school?
Not really.
How did I know you were going to say that? That's an answer that I would hear out of my grandsons as well. So, no, but you don't have to go to a 4-year college to do something. Is there something that you've thought of that you think you'd really be interested in doing? Um,
A mechanical engineering degree.
okay, there you go. Well, that's going to take some schooling, but
My
that's
dad,
good.
because
Is,
my dad.
is that what your dad does?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So he's been a good influence on you, hasn't he?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Have you ever done anything kind of daring outside of being a race car driver?
Doing the we did an excavator swinging. We tied ourselves to a harness and we swung ourselves around and with the excavator.
Who did that? Were your
My dad.
parents? Oh, your dad. Okay, well that's better. I was thinking, did Riley swing you around, or what were you doing? So Okay, as long as Dad was there, then I'm okay with that. And that's kind of
And riding four-wheelers and dirt bikes.
okay. Well, that's pretty fun to do that.
When I
I
used
was
to,
I was thinking when you said that, it reminds me of when you go to the fair and they have those swings, that go around in the circle. Is that kind of like what it was?
yes,
Yeah.
it was.
A lot more scarier though.
I bet it was for sure. And Riley, same thing that you did that too?
Yes. And
Yeah.
when we were younger, my dad would make dirt piles, like get out these big heels of dirt and put them in the yard because we have a lot of land. And whenever I ride the four-wheelers, I'd always jump them and I'd always be like all the way in the air, and it would always scare my dad.
I bet it scared him because you can't always land on four wheels, but that was fun anyway, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We also have like a stone hill in the backyard, and I like to get my dirt bike out and jump it.
Oh, yeah. So you're a little bit daring because, you have to be a little bit brave about racing if you're going to be racing bandoleros and then, move up. So, yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I've got some quick answer questions that I'm going to ask you. So we're going to start with Cam. And then Riley, we'll let him answer all of them. And then we'll come and ask you. So you're going to have a little time to think. Okay. So
Okay.
these are quick answers, Cam. Don't think very long on it. And if you don't have one or don't have an answer, just say, I don't have one. So what is your favorite food?
Probably shepherd's
Food
pie.
or restaurant?
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie. Oh, your mom must be a good cook.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your favorite color?
Green.
Favorite animal?
Dogs.
Where would you like to go on vacation or someplace that you've been? Your favorite, just if I could send you on a vacation anywhere, where would it be?
Hawaii.
Oh, I'm with you there. That's on my bucket list too.
Because of Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah, that's good. But I think there's just so much to see and do over there, and it's beautiful, and I would love to go there. How about a favorite candy?
Probably Snickers.
Oh, good choice. You don't get hangry, do you, and turn into somebody else if you don't have a Snickers?
Just like my dad.
That's the commercial, they get hangry. What's your favorite racetrack?
Probably Lanier.
Okay, and why is that?
Because there's no inside wall, so you ain't got to worry about spinning and hitting the inside wall.
Oh.
And it's fun because it's like shaped like a bowl. So when you race around it, you really got to drive it.
Wow, that sounds fun. Do you watch movies at all or go to the movies? Do you have a favorite movie?
Probably Days of Thunder.
Oh, I had a feeling you might say that. My son, my son passed away when he was 40, but he was born in 1978, so he would have been, I don't know, 40 whatever, in his 40s. And we wore out, at that time it was VHS tapes. It wasn't DVDs. And he wore one of them out. We had to buy another one. And that was his favorite movie. I bet I've seen that movie easily at least 100 times. Yeah, I could probably recite a lot of the dialogue in that movie. It's a great racing movie. So how about music? Do you listen to music? Do you have a favorite kind?
Country music, and my favorite artist is Morgan Wallen.
Oh, yeah. Good choices. Good choices. How about a favorite sports team outside of racing?
The Atlanta Braves.
Oh, you're a baseball fan because you play baseball, so you're a Braves fan. That's good. Do you have a favorite professional race car driver?
William Byron.
William Byron. And your favorite holiday?
Halloween.
Okay. Do you watch TV? And if you do, what's your favorite TV or Netflix or whatever kind of show?
Outer Banks on Netflix.
Okay. I know that's a popular one among kids. My grandkids watch that. And then the last question is your favorite thing to celebrate?
Christmas.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Riley. We're going to find out more about you now. So, favorite food or restaurant?
Probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yes. I'm with you there. What's your favorite color?
Hot pink.
Favorite animal?
I like miniature goats.
Okay. Favorite place to go on vacation?
The Bahamas.
Oh, pretty place to go. Favorite candy?
Reese Cups.
Favorite racetrack?
Chris Motorsports Park.
Okay. Do you have a favorite movie that you've watched?
I have a couple of favorites, but I really like The Notebook.
Oh, that's a good movie for sure. Yeah. How about favorite music?
I listen to all genres.
Okay. All right. Do you have a favorite sports team outside of racing?
The Atlanta Braves, but I mainly only watch NASCAR.
Okay. All right. How about a favorite professional race car driver?
I really like Ty Gibbs.
Yeah. Okay. I've met him a couple times. Yeah. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Okay. Do you have a favorite Netflix or TV show?
Not really. I have a few favorites, but I don't have a single favorite.
Okay. And how about a favorite movie?
The Notebook.
Oh, yeah, you said that. I don't know why I asked you that again. Sorry. And the last one is your favorite thing to celebrate.
My birthday.
Okay, that's the most common answer is favorite thing to celebrate is your birthday. So I've asked you a lot of questions. You've been great interviews. You gave me the answers and you were talked up and I could hear you good and you had great answers. But is there anything that I have not asked either one of you about that I should either know about you or that you would like to share about yourself, your family, your racing, anything at all?
I don't think so.
How about you, Cam?
Oh well, we've met a few NASCAR
Yeah,
drivers.
famous NASCAR drivers.
Okay.
We've met Dave. We met like David Reagan. We've met Richard Petty. We've met Jeff Gordon, and Bill Elliott, and Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Josh Berry.
I was going to ask you if you'd met William Byron. So you have.
We actually met William Byron and Chase Elliott back in January at Speedfest at Chris Motorsports Park.
Okay.
And another driver is Christian Ekins.
Okay. So you met some of those you met at Chris Motorsports Park. Where did you meet the rest of those guys?
Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And then we met Ryan Vargas at a restaurant.
Oh, really?
He was really nice.
And the fact that you knew who he was, right? Because everybody doesn't know, if you follow NASCAR or Xfinity, any of those, and you follow it a lot, you get to see what the drivers look like. But a lot of people that just tune in, watch on Sunday or whatever, they would never recognize a driver at a restaurant. And so he was probably impressed that you knew who he was.
Cam actually recognized him first.
Did he? Yeah. So that's kind of fun. And did you get autographs or you just
we got an autograph hat by him, and my dad got his dad's phone number.
Okay, very cool. Awesome. So is your bucket list to get a lot more meet a lot more drivers? Because that's pretty fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. And in fact, Ryan Vargas's dad gave my dad his number to give us bandolera tips to help us out and to come help us with the bandoleras.
Well, that's really nice. You don't get that every day, do you?
It was really cool. I did not expect that.
Yeah, that's very nice. The racing family, even though, yes, we want to race against each other and we always want to win, but we also want to help each other. And that's the thing I love about motorsports, more so really than any other sport, is that you might race competitive on the track and bump each other, do whatever happens. But if your car breaks, everybody comes running to help, don't they?
Yes. In fact, yesterday, my battery was dead and my car wouldn't start, and several people came to help us out.
Yeah. And that's just, and you do that for them. That's just how motorsports people are. And that's why I love being a part of the motorsports community, because that's just who we are for sure.
Like if you've been to Axel, I've been to Axel multiple times, and people have always like, hey, I can give you an Axel.
Yeah. They want to help you because they want to see you succeed, even if that means that you beat them. It's just how the family is. So I'm going to ask you a couple things. Do you know Carlene Pacella?
No, ma'am.
Okay, well she said congratulations, and then she said our babies. I'm going to put her comment up here. Carlene, you guys don't know who that is?
Well, she used to work at the daycare center.
Oh, okay.
To know her.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That was one of their babysitters.
Okay, so she's listening, and she put that on there. And then Latanya Peacock Mency. Do you know her?
Same daycare.
Okay. All right. So they saw that you were going to be on, and they're listening. So that's great. Thank you, ladies, for getting on and making a comment and telling the kids congratulations. And they call you their babies, but you're not babies anymore, are you?
No.
And Bryson Beck is listening. Do you know Bryson?
That's one of my friends.
Okay. All right. So he's listening. I can't always tell who's listening. Tina Lewis, my friend Tina's listening. Fiona Hush is listening, and Bill Caslow. That are who are on right now listening. So we get a lot more listeners when we share the link later on, because some people are eating dinner and it's Sunday night, but and there'll be a lot more that'll listen to the show after we post the link. So that's great. Thank you, ladies, for putting those, and Bryson for putting those comments on there. So kiddos, is there anything else that you want to share with me that we haven't talked about?
I don't think so.
No? How about you, Cam? Think of anything?
We just want to thank all of our sponsors, Kelly and
Okay.
Kate, Keen Movers, Green Concrete, Demo Chick, and Blackshear Veterinary Clinic, and of
Okay.
course my parents.
Yes, for sure. Can't do it without mom and dad, can we?
No, ma'am.
No. Now, are you the only two? There's no other siblings?
It's just us.
Just the two of you. Okay, well, that's perfect. A boy and a girl. That works out great. Well, I really appreciate, one, that your mom and you guys were so flexible about changing to this week. And, when you get old like me, sometimes you don't look at the calendar and realize Easter's coming, because the Easter bunny doesn't come to my house anymore, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. But I appreciate that you were flexible and that you could be on the show tonight. I've really enjoyed talking with both of you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We really enjoyed it.
I would never have guessed that.
Did it cut out?
Yeah, I think so.
You're doing great at it. And did I freeze up for a minute there?
It did.
Yeah, you froze up too. What I said was nobody would ever believe this was your first podcast, because you were both great. You answered questions, and I really appreciate that you were on. So thanks for doing that. I'm going to be keeping track of you. A couple of things that I want you to do is I always like for you to hashtag Women's Motorsports Network when you post things. That way I can keep track of you easier, because then you've tagged me social media wise as far as your racing. And then the other thing that we do, and Brett started this when we first started this show back in, it's been almost a year now that we've done this live show.
It froze up again.
Yeah.
We're froze up. When Brett became, I first met him and his family, we became like racing family, but family all the same. And so what he always says to the people that are on our show, Women's Motorsports Network is just like a family. And now that you've been on the show with us, you're part of our family. So welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to let you go. And thank you guys for being a part of the show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
One more question. What about
ahead.
your shit?
Oh, yes. Hang on. Let me go get him. I'll go get him. I'm glad you reminded me. Come here, crew. Come here. They want to see you. Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah. He's a little sneaker. You little stinker, huh? So this, I'll put my headphone in. So this is my dog, Crew. He is absolutely the cutest Shih Tzu ever. No offense. I know yours is adorable too, but he's got the cutest face. I know you want to lick me, don't you? He's got the cutest face and the prettiest eyes. And every time I take him with me all the time. He loves to ride in the car. And whenever I take him with me,
All of them.
people say, "Oh, he has the most beautiful eyes and the cutest face." And so, yes, he does. And he is more gray. So I don't know if you can tell, but the other three that were born when he was born were really black and white. Black is black and white is white. But he is the only one that is gray. I don't know how good you can see. And I said, well, that's the perfect one for me because if I didn't color my hair, I'd be gray too. So, so we're both gray, but he is the best dog and I just love him to pieces. So say hi, Crew. There he goes. Well, thank you guys for being on and for letting me share my precious dog with you. I hope you have a really good season this year. I'll be watching what you're doing. And then hopefully we'll stay in touch. And maybe one of these days I'll get to come and watch a race.
Yeah, we would love to be back.
Okay, that'd be awesome. We'll do that. So thank you guys for coming. All right, good night. So that was Cam and Riley Hanson, and they were great interviews. I mean, seriously, they answered all the questions. They had never done a podcast before, and you know, some kids are shy, and it doesn't matter how old they are. They sometimes are shy, but these kids were great. You could tell they love racing. They were happy to talk about racing, and so. Yeah, I was really pleased that they could be on. So Crew and I are going to, yep, he's happy. He loves me. Crew and I are going to hang up now. We appreciate that you guys were listening to us. We're going to share this link so more people can listen. So if you want to share the link with your friends and family and whatever, we would love that. We have a YouTube channel that we would love also for you to follow. We're just starting to push that a little bit to get more people listening. And we are in the middle or starting to be busy with racing. So I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and the racing is going to be starting with some practice nights. And then next weekend, I think there's some tracks here that are going to be racing. And so we're going to be in full swing. And we are excited to be back. Race season's here. It was kind of a long winter, but we're glad to be back. And so if you have anybody that you'd like to hear on the show or to be featured in our online magazine, just reach out to me and let me know. And until then, we'll be back here next Sunday night. We've got some great guests coming up. And so I'll share those on Facebook with you. And we've got a great summer full of interviews and stories to tell. So thanks everybody for listening. And I hope you have a great week and we'll see you next Sunday. Good night.